Welcome! Tonight we have a cultural section in a spiritual session. So we invoke to one of the most important writers of 20th century. He was born in January in 1892 and he died on September in 1973. His bestsellers are The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. He is already with us and we have some information of him. He was born in South Africa and grew up and died in England. In fact, he invented languages for fun. He is J.R.R. Tolkien. Hello, how do you feel to come back to the world of the living?
Hello, it is amazing to come back here. And why did you call me?
We want to know about you and your life. So, we know that you got married and had 4 children. How did your personal life influence your work as a writer?
It was influenced in many aspects. For example, I fought in the World War first when all my friends died, and that inspired me to write the book of the lost stories. Another aspect that encouraged me to write was the lack of mythological culture in England. I also took aspects from the Nordic mythology to write some of my works.
Well, Mr. Tolkien, can you tell us about your wife?
At age 16, I met who will be my future wife, Edith Mary, but his guardian father, Francis Morgan, forbade me to see her until I came of age. That was age 21. She was my inspiration for the characters Lutin Tinubio and Arwen Evenster. We got married in the Catholic Church of St. Mary Immaculate in Warwick, England, and we had 4 children, 3 sons and 1 daughter.
You was a person who had a lot of professions. What were you doing besides being a writer?
I was a linguistic professor at Oxford University. I was a soldier in World War I, a philology and a poet.
When you started with your career as a writer, when did you write your first book? Which was and how old did you were?
I wrote my first book in 1914 when I was 22. This was my first work and the longest too, so I couldn't finish it because I died and my son Christopher continues it.
We know that the world that you create to the elves is very interesting. How do you describe the world of them?
Rivendell is an elven realm in the Middle-earth, a fictional world that I have created, and it is featured in The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion. It was established and ruled by Elrond, half-elven in the Second Age of the Middle-earth, and it was protected by the powers of its lord and its elven ring Belia. Rivendell was located in eastern Eriador at the edge of a narrow gorge of the river Brunnen, but well hidden in the moorlands and foothills in the Harugly or Misty Mountain. The climate was cool, temperate and semi-continental, with warm summers, fairly snowy winters and moderate precipitation. Seasons were more pronounced than in areas farther west.
In your books there are too many characters. What inspired you to create some of your characters?
To create most of the names, I inspired Norse mythology. As the Edda of Snorri, there are stories of gods like Thor, Odin and Tyr. I created some when I was in war and I saw the relation between officers and their trusted assistant in the front, an act of camaraderie among the soldiers. When I created Saruman, I inspired in Adolf Hitler in the period of World War II.
As you said before, you were a philology. How did you build to create the language of the elves?
I built to create the language of the elves on Finnish, Estonian and Welsh because when I was young I was very introverted and interested in philology, that is a science which studies the ancient language and its structure, so it allows to express myself on my works.
In your books, the places that take place are very varied. Did you get your inspiration in a particular place to write?
The truth is, I wouldn't live as a specific place. I am a person who travels too much, and every experience of my travel, I reflected it in my books, as the case of Rivendell, the Elven Realm. In my book, The Hobbit, to create that place, I had the inspiration from the Lauterbrunnen Valley in Switzerland. For the Hobbit's hole, my inspiration was the Roman ruins in Lydney Park. But the next place that I'm going to tell you now, it isn't very paradisiac, as the two that I named before. How you can know, I fought in the World War, first beside 2 friends, where I only could survive. With that traumatic experience, and as I formed to honor my friends the plays Marathon and Dead Marshes from my book The Lord of the Rings, were inspired in the lonely fields of the north of France, where I fought in the Battle of the Somme, in the trenches that I suffered a great illness that almost took my life.
In all your books, we can find many important characters, but are there any significant character for you in your books? What does it mean to you?
Yes, there is a character whose name is Arwen, and she's here with us.
I was an elf daughter of Lord Elrond. I fell in love with Aragorn, who is just a mortal. But I love him so much, and I gave up to my mortal life to live my love with him.
It reflects the relationship that I had with my wife, who she died, and after that fact took me closer to death.
We know that a woman has a specific role in a society. Is there any character who breaks with the stigma of being a woman in your stories?
Yes, there is a particular woman who breaks the stigmas, and she's Louie. She's a brave woman, thirsty for freedom, and she doesn't fit with the stereotypes of typical women who have to do housework and take care of her family.
For Ewin, is it a limitation to be a woman and to be a warrior?
Of course not. Your gender never has to be a limit in things that you're able to do. If you do it with your heart and always trusting in yourself, a woman can acquire too much strength as any other man. For instance, when I was in battle with the Witch King and he told that any man could kill him, I took off my helmet and I told him that I wasn't a man, that all he saw was a real woman.
We know that in your book you require some creativity for writing them. Did you need help for writing any of your books?
In 1926, I met C.S. Lewis, who is known for writing the Chronicles of Narnia. Eventually, we became good friends. He listened to me all the stories and ideas that I had for the Silmarillion and for the Lord of the Rings. I couldn't have finished my book, The Lord of the Rings, without help of Lewis. My book, The Silmarillion, which I didn't finish because I died, my son Christopher worked in it, and then my son published it in 1977.
It was a pleasure that you came here of Beyond and talk with us. Do you want to say anything to your fans?
I am very grateful to my fans who read and liked my books and shared them with their friends.
So, good night everyone. Thanks for watching and see you in the next spiritual session. ¿Listo?
Sí.
Oh, no, sí.
Chamaco.
Marco. Oh, pobrecito.
Oh. And to be a warrior?
Of course not. You can hablar.
Started with your career as a writer. No. It's a pleasure that you came here of Beyond. Pero
Me cae mal tu gato, ¿no?
Queda.
quizás no puedo. De verdad no puedo.